All right, y'all, today we're going to take a look at this boudoir photography business. Going to check it out, its local search, check out its city search, see if it's got BSS. So we're back here in the GBC universe where we take declining boudoir photographers, bring them to help them become the #1 boudoir photographer in their city. Our North Star, as always, is FSIC, full spectrum intent capture. More about that, whatever, pinned video, home video, whatever. And that's because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. If we're capturing everyone across the entire intent spectrum, business is probably rising. If we're missing people, not getting enough people, business is probably falling. So on the left side, that's what we talk about here, BSS. We're focusing on the highest intent people. This is people searching for boudoir, photo shoots on social search, Google search, things like that, like directly typing it in and searching it. And way at the other end, we got our other brand, Boudoir FB Ad Doctor, talking about BLCS. And that's where right now we are only working with boudoir photographers running more than 10 grand a month in boudoir Facebook ads. All right, now we're into BSS, boudoir search sameness. That's what our whole video is about. We're going to see this is when a boudoir photographer has either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. 0 slots on Google, on page 1 of Google, dead, because we know approximately 80% of Google searches never go to page 2. So that we can't have that. We're going to be, that's a quick path to our boudoir photography business totally disappearing on us. If we got 1 slot on page 1 of Google, still not good, because everyone else, every other boudoir photographer also has 1 slot, which means anyone searching is going to click through everyone's, contact everyone, get a, get quotes from everyone, and that means probably 9 other competitors going to be on page 1 on Google, because organic slots are, there's 10 of them. And here we teach the GBC minimum of 3. We actually want to get 3 out of 10 slots on page 1 of Google, kind of minimum that we feel that would guarantee we're treading water. We're most likely not disappearing, not declining, or at least treading water, maybe even growing. And 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google is not normal. It's extremely common. Everyone accepts it as normal, but it's not normal. Having that few number of slots on page 1, not normal, is actually the symptom of 2 deeper root causes. There's 2 deeper root causes, which most people know about. The first one, market saturation. Second one, the #1 killer of boudoir photography businesses, is the false belief of page 1 equality. So first, market saturation. Yeah, that's seems like new boudoir photographers entering the market every single week. Get a new iPhone, they're starting off their Google My Business profile, saying they have for boudoir shoots, throwing their website up, kind of chalking up the page 1 Google search, making it more crowded. Or they get a new camera, they're posting them, the mom group saying they now offer boudoir photo shoots. So that's market saturation. But the #1 silent killer, #1 killer and silent killer boudoir photography businesses I've seen is this false belief of page 1 equality. So that is when we actually believe it's normal to have either 0 or 1 slots on page 1. Every boudoir photographer gets 0 or 1 slots on page 1. That's how it is. And we got more market saturation. Okay, my 1 slot on page 1 is now 0 slots on page 1, 1 slot on page 2. Well, what can you do? Everyone gets 0, 1 slots on page 1. Wrong, incorrect. I went from 0 out of 10 slots on page 1 to 9 out of 10 slots on page 1 in 10 days. I took as many slots as I wanted using the solution we're going to talk about here. And I feel like people have not looked for a solution or a way to solve this because they didn't even know they were implicitly agreeing with the page 1 false belief of page 1 equality. I feel like most people didn't even know that this belief existed. They kind of just, I don't know, auto accepted it, maybe didn't have the words for it, but it's actually a false belief. Now, a boudoir photographer with BSS, boudoir search sameness, is a disappearing boudoir photographer. Because if we're on page 2 or later of Google, we already know approximately 80% of searchers never seen us. So yeah, we're definitely disappearing. If we only got one slot on page one, we're also disappearing because there's 9 other slots, probably 9 other competing boudoir photographers. Everyone's going to click through. We're being price shopped against everyone, blah, blah, blah. And so this is kind of the canary in the coal mine to, if this is occurring, eventually the entire boudoir photography business is going to disappear. So we got a solution. BSS is treated with social search saturation, our S-cubed methodology. We invented this, been working on it for about 7 months, finally bringing it to market. And again, this is what I use to go from 0 out of 10 slots on page 1 of Google to 9 out of 10 slots on page 1 of Google in 10 days. And this is the only thing I've actually seen that can successfully fight back against market saturation. But to use it, we first got to crush the false belief of page 1 equality. So if we accept that as false, then we can use the solution to fight back against market saturation. And it's right in the name, social search saturation. So we're going to saturate social search with the highest intent keywords. And as a result, people, they'll basically only find us when they search for the highest intent keywords for a boudoir photographer, a boudoir photo shoot in their city. And as a result of ranking for those on all the social search engines, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, then that flows and ranks us on higher chance page 1 on Google. And let's say we got a million boudoir photographers and we're in Austin, Texas. A million boudoir photographers in Austin, Texas. Everyone's got a website. Everyone's ranking, but we turn S-cubed methodology up to the max. And dude, we're ranking the first 300 slots of, boudoir photo shoot in Austin on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Flow, and that flows. We're ranking the first 300 slots on Google. So that's literally the first 30 pages because 10 organic slots per page. It literally doesn't matter. Those 999,999 other boudoir photographers, if people can basically only ever find us, our business will be growing fine. If people gotta go page 31 on Google search to find another boudoir, another boudoir photographer in our city, we're probably gonna get most of the business, if not all of it, or approximately all of it. So this is the power, kind of half the power of S-cubed methodology. Some more bonus stuff about it at the end. Now, once treated with S-cubed methodology, we have page 1 visibility. So we got more than 2. Well, we got 2 or more. Well, at least we don't have 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. We prefer to hit the GBC minimum of 3 out of 10 slots. But for every extra slot we get, we're actually kicking a competing boudoir photographer off page 1 and entirely, effectively making them invisible. Because remember, we're focusing on the 80% here, the approximately 80% that do not go to page 2 of Google search. They're page 1 only peeps. So kicking a competitor off, they effectively become invisible to 80% of searchers, the bulk of the market. And page 1 visibility activates boudoir search visibility for us. And a boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility is a visible boudoir photographer. So this is our universe here. A disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is caused by market saturation and page 1, the false belief of page 1 equality. That's fine. We now have a solution, S-cubed methodology. And we achieve page 1 visibility and become a visible boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility. And that's simply starting the momentum. Can continue the momentum as long as one wants. And, potentially turn this into page 1 domination. So this is my most recent foray in this strategy. I'm going to rank for the term BLCS boudoir. And AI overview, that's not me. Then we got the Google Map Pack. But here we're looking at the organic. So organic slot 1, Instagram, me. Or organic slot 2, Instagram, me. Organic slot 3, me. Slot 4, me. Slot 5, me. Slot 6, me. Slot 7, me. Slot 8, me. Slot 10, me. So I got 9 out of 10 slots went from 0 out of 10 slots to 9 out of 10 slots in 10 days. Who's someone coming to if they're searching BLCS Boudoir? That's right. Most likely only me. I got 90% of these slots. And for someone to like catch me, they would have to catch up to me with what I'm doing daily and exceed me what I'm doing daily to even have a chance to start kind of breaking in here. Now, main event here, we're going to take a look at this Boudoir photography business, see if they got BSS for either their local search or their city search, and see what's going on. So we're going to Carefree, Arizona, and Fear in Phoenix, Arizona. Carefree, Arizona. All right. Boom, we got one. And let's see. Boom, we got two. Boom, we got three. And boom, we got four. All right, so we got 4 out of 10 for local. Awesome. Let's go to city, Phoenix. Way harder to rank here in Phoenix. Let's see, we got, because it's a much larger area, way more competitors. Let's see. All right, we're at 0 out of 10. All right, so for city, or for local, we're at 4 out of 10 slots, page 1 Google search. And so we do not have BSS. We've hit the GBC recommended minimum, 3 out of 10 slots, page 1 Google search. That's good. So dominating local here. City, we got 0 out of 10. So we do have BSS. So we're at 0 or 1 slots, page 1 Google search. And basically, we're not hitting the GBC recommended minimum, 3 out of 10 slots, page 1 Google search. So if you are a disappearing boudoir photographer, so you've done the BSS search for local and for city for yourself, and you are you're saying you either got BSS or you're not hitting the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots, page 1 on Google, and you've seen that key methodology, like, wow, that's exactly what I need. That's what I want. That's what I've been waiting for. Kind of solve this, kind of dominate page 1, which honestly is kind of secondary benefit. Kicking our competitors off page 1 is probably the most important thing. Getting them to page 2, where they're invisible to approximately 80% of Google searches. And you're saying, okay, that's key methodology. You decide, okay, that can get you there. And the you understand the page, the false belief of page 1 quality is exactly that, a false belief. So you're like, okay, now we can break through kind of mental barrier and see what are the solutions after take as many page 1 slots on Google, as I want to put in the effort to acquire. And you understand market saturation, basically new gear, new people coming into Boudoir, new websites, new people competing on page 1, yeah. But you're also looking ahead, saying AI is going to take more and more people's jobs. And since everyone's got a smartphone with an awesome camera, it's actually going to force more and more boudoir photographers into the market than potentially ever, just because AI is going to be so widespread. So you're thinking ahead. You like the initial benefits of boudoir, where basically, or at least you like the initial benefits of getting more slots page 1 on Google, kicking out more boudoir photographers off page 1 on Google. And you also like that SQ methodology can actually fortify your position in the new boudoir peeps coming into the marketplace. And so you're seeing, okay, SQ methodology can help fortify that position as well, kind of like building up the levees for New Orleans, Louisiana, to keep the ocean out, because New Orleans is below sea level. And you want to achieve page 1 visibility. You want to become a visible boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility, because you need those things in order to become #1 boudoir photographer in your city. And You're also thinking ahead to the extended future benefits, which is kind of the more that we execute S cubed correctly every single day, we're building up these kind of invisible thematic keyword columns attached to our brand, attached to our business, attached to our kind of like invisible mindshare for AI mindshare. And that actually increases the probability that we are brought up in this AI overview premium placement. This probability increases every day we run S cubed methodology correctly. And this is a premium placement. And also to increase the probability that AI search recommends this, ChatGPT search and Claude search, Perplexity search, Microsoft Copilot search, um, Google Gemini. Because I remember the last time I looked for a boudoir photographer in a city, they only recommended me 3. And I went on Google to look at that city. Like, actually, how many options exist? There's about 60. So I was like, dude, we gotta figure out a way to get on here. So you're also seeing S-cubed methodology is the best way to get that done. And you're also seeing, since we be on all these social platforms, dominating the social search, we can create a brand much faster, which is really just kind of like momentum mindshare. And you're also seeing that you decide to be a first mover advantage and be the first one in your city to utilize S-cubed methodology, because my current plan is to only work with one boudoir photographer for your city. So that enables you to kind of box out all your competitors from using this. So you're saying you can get super ahead with all these slots page 1 on Google, all this momentum of, basically all this momentum of kind of this invisible thematic keyword column mindshare, and really put a large amount of distance between yourself and all your competitors. And conversely, if one of your competitors works with me instead, you understand you'd have to go and rederive or derive for the first time S-cubed methodology. And then you'd have to then go execute it at the same rate as me and your competitor each day. And you probably wouldn't feel comfortable putting that much time in, because you'd never be 100% confident that you've even derived it or rederived it correctly in the first place. And then at that point, even if you equal our effort, our output, you would simply be maintaining the gap we've already built between you. You have to actually double or triple our output to kind of close that gap and gain on us, and kind of pull back those invisible thematic keyword columns from kind of AI mindshare we're acquiring. You'd have to pull that momentum away from us. And like, dude, who's got 80 hours a day to do all this? Who's got 80 hours a day? Nobody. So you've decided, screw that. You've already decided you're gonna be the first one to actually, the first one in your city to utilize this, so you can get all these initial benefits and future benefits. So that's you. Shoot me a DM. The hospital is currently closed, but if you actually, when I do open DMs for new patient intake, shoot me a DM then, and we'll see if you qualify for utilizing our S-cubed methodology.